Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we dissect the world of corporate filing so you don't have to. Today we are diving into Ovid Therapeutics, and let me tell you, the future of this company is more unpredictable than my grandma's cooking. Let's see what's cooking. Forget the usual boring financial reports. This one has potential hints about what's next for a company trying to make waves in a tough industry. We're talking about experimental drugs, financial numbers, and a constant race against time. Buckle up. Ovid Therapeutics, a company focused on rare neurological diseases, just released its business updates along with its financial results for the last quarter of 2024 and the entire year. This is their Form 8K filing, which is basically a quick update companies give to investors about important events. The first big thing is that Ovid issued a press release about their business updates and finances. Now, usually a press release is meant to paint a pretty picture, but we're going to dig deeper and see if the numbers back up the hype. It's important to note that the information provided, including the exhibit, is not filed in the legal sense for certain purposes. This basically means that while it's public, the company isn't necessarily liable for every single statement in it in the same way as some other official filings. Now let's jump to the exhibits, specifically Exhibit 99.1. This is where we find the actual press release with all the details. Alright, let's dive into the meat of the matter, the press release. The headline screams business updates and fourth quarter and full year 2024 financial results. Companies always highlight their wins, but we need to see the full picture. They're talking about hitting certain goals, like with their clinical trials and getting closer to regulatory approvals. These are huge for biotech companies, as approvals from places like the FDA are what turn potential into profit. They highlight things like their pipeline progress, meaning the progress of drugs they are working on and their ongoing clinical trials. Ovid is mainly focusing on developing medicines that affect something called the GABA pathway in the brain. Think of GABA as the brain's calming system. Their drugs aim to fix problems in this system. One of their main drugs is called soticlestat. It's being developed to treat certain types of seizures and other neurological conditions. They're working with a partner, Takeda, on this one. They mention other clinical development programs for a few different diseases. These programs are all in various stages, and success in any of these could significantly change Ovid's outlook. They have a drug called OV815. It's designed to help with KIF1A associated neurological disease. This is a very rare and serious condition. If OV815 works, it could be a big deal for these patients and for Ovid. Moving on to the corporate update, this section is all about the money. They're talking about how they're managing their cash, how they're prioritizing their resources. Basically, they are trying to save money because drug development is expensive. They mention making some changes early in the year to help keep the company afloat. This might mean cutting programs that aren't showing promise. It's a tough decision, but important for survival. They remind everyone that they are still working with Takeda on soticlestat. That partnership is key to Ovid's strategy because big pharma companies like Takeda have the money and resources Ovid needs. They note they're still talking with the FDA. The FDA's feedback is crucial as it could impact the future of soticlestat. They're still pushing forward their OV815 program. This shows commitment to their own pipeline, even with the partnership with Takeda. Now let's dive into the numbers. This is where we see if all the progress is turning into actual financial gains. First up, cash. They ended the year with around $43.7 million in cash equivalents, and marketable securities. This number is down compared to the end of the year before. Cash is king for biotech companies, especially those without a lot of revenue coming in. This means they'll need to either start making more money or find more funding, and soon. Their research and development expenses were about $7.8 million for the quarter. This is the cost of running clinical trials and developing new drugs. It's a big expense, but it's necessary for growth. They spent around $4.2 million on general and administrative expenses. These are costs like salaries, legal fees, and other overhead costs. Finally, the bottom line, their net loss was around $10.7 million for the quarter. This means they're spending more than they're bringing in. This is common for biotech companies at this stage, but they need to find a way to turn that around eventually. Looking at the whole year, their research and development expenses totaled $34 million, and they had a net loss of over $46 million for the year. These numbers show how expensive it is to develop drugs. It's a high-risk, high-reward game. Ovid says it is trying to make medicine for people with rare neurological diseases. It's a noble goal. Remember that a lot of what Ovid says is forward-looking. These are statements about what they hope will happen in the future, but they're not guarantees. They include a disclaimer that protects them from lawsuits if their predictions don't come true. It's a standard legal safety net. So what does this all mean? Ovid is a company with potential. They're working on important drugs and have a partnership with a major player, but they're also burning through cash and need to show progress soon. Ovid Therapeutics is at a critical point. Their financials show they need to either get a drug approved or find more funding to keep going. Their success hinges on the results of their clinical trials and their ability to manage their cash. The collaboration with Takeda on sotagliflozin is crucial. Any positive news from that partnership could be a game changer. However, the reliance on one major partnership also adds risk. If that deal were to falter, Ovid could be in serious trouble. They are trying to target rare diseases that may give them faster approval, but they are also smaller market, so they need to balance revenue and target a big enough patient group. Overall, Ovid's future is uncertain. They have promising programs, but they also face significant financial and regulatory challenges. It's a high-risk, high-reward situation. Thanks for watching this episode of Corporate Decoder. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate filings. Let me know what company you want me to decode next.